Hello, everyone. Welcome. Wonderful to have you here. This is the Awakening Path live from the sanctuary. This space is dedicated to spiritual guidance taught techniques applied through practical everyday tools. Today's episode, buckle up, big shifts are here. They're not down the road, they're not back there. They're like we're smack dab sitting in the middle of it. We're going to talk about why old energy patterns are coming up right now, what to do about them. We're going to talk about spiritual awakenings and big energy shifts that are available to you and you and you and you right now. So it's a potent week, to say the least. You know, I woke up this morning and I ground my body as I do every day. By the way, I mentioned the word clairvoyant techniques in the title, and the word clairvoyant just means clear seeing. And these tools, this technique is designed to help you be able to see your own truth. So you're not just memorizing something that I'm saying or someone else has said or basing your spiritual experience on somebody else's. This is teaching you how to open your own natural abilities, the clairs, clairvoyance, claircognizance, telepathy, clairaudience, all of those. You learn how to access those. But the focus is really on everyday, how to use these tools in every day. So while there's some strange things going on, I just want to preface that this training is designed, and for me in particular, I work with a lot of other people who love helping people. But we're focusing on everyday living. So I woke up this morning, I'm grounding myself as I do, and I heard the words, "Welcome to a new earth." And I thought, okay, thank you very much. Looks a lot like yesterday's earth, however, but okay. So I guess welcome to the new earth. Here we are. And what does that mean? Well, yesterday I had to chop wood, carry water. So today, chop wood, carry water. And increase our intuitive abilities, our awareness on all these subtle layers. So sometimes big shifts may not look different on the outside. I still get up, I start the fire, I get a cup of tea, I meditate. It's the same. But inside, big things are stirring, aren't they? How many of you have noticed? I was just working with a group this morning. I'm doing a 2-week challenge. You guys can all join me. We meditate every morning at 9 to 9:15, a little short check for your day through February 28th. The link's over there. You can join anytime, as much as you can. Talking with the group this morning, and people are feeling like a little off balance, a little foggy headed. I wonder if some of you are feeling some of that right now. It's a little disorienting in this time. And I'm speaking to you, the person that would be watching this channel, that might be more intuitive, might be more spiritually seeker-oriented, might be empathic, might be HSP, highly sensitive person, trying to figure all that stuff out. I wonder how much of that HSP, which is, I would have been diagnosed, I suppose, if I were a kid during this era. That wasn't a term when I grew up. But highly sensitive to me just means I'm picking up a lot of extra data. So then you have to learn how to manage that. That's what we talk about here. Yeah, so noticing shifts and changes. I was just at a group the other day also, and we were meditating in this beautiful temple. I'm going to do an in-person retreat in that temple Labor Day weekend, so hold that date. But we were in person, plus I had people on live Zoom with me on my iPad. So we have the two groups, and we're all meditating together. And just the symmetry and the time period and the astrological alignments and people's individual preparedness. I looked around and several people were having tears. So were they sad? Is this a sucky meditation? What's going on there? Why are they having tears? Did I say something? Did someone say something to upset them? What just happened? No, they're letting go of old, long held beliefs about who they are. And that seems to be a part of this upgrade that we're going through. I've used the analogy before in classes that we have this idea that I'm a body and I pray to something out there. I have a soul that's kind of tethered somewhere out there, but it's not really correct, right? You are the soul and you have the body, and it's learning how to really take the driving reins from the body personality, the ego that wants to run the show, put it back in the hands of the soul that you are. And from there, we start realizing some of these misconceptions that we've had about ourselves. So I'm in this group with this live, it's a live group meditating plus the online group. And I noticed the tears, and I was able to talk with people afterwards as well as counsel during the session. And it was exactly that long held beliefs about who they were. And for one person, it might be, oh, I always thought I want to do this other thing in life, but I've been on hold because I just can't make a decision, or I'm too wishy-washy or something. And I look at their energy body, and for her, and I would talk about where you're really lightly tuned, so like just a little bit of attention somewhere can give you a lot of data, and it can move really quickly. But it wasn't so much that, like, for example, I need to solve a depression, or I need to solve for some, yes, it may be. In this case, the person was saying, I want to move forward. I have this great idea. I want to get moving on, but here's my holdup, and fill in the blank. What would it be for any of us? What is that holdup right now? Those are the things coming up. In this case, with this individual, there was a misconception. I offered a different view as I looked clairvoyantly at the person. I said, it's not so much you don't know what to do. There's these pictures we call perfect pictures, where we want to get it right. We want to do the right thing. And if I can't do the right thing, I'm not even going to start. Why bother? It's not going to be right. That can be addressed also, but it's a different issue. So part of the tears coming up then is that misconception about who we really are, these long-held beliefs. For somebody else, it might be they love working with groups of people. So they might be more tuned in to larger groups. And usually those kind of people have a lot of power in them, third chakra, solar plexus power, leadership to help others. And I'll tell you, sometimes those really strong leadership souls can have very peculiar health emergencies, health issues. You go to the doctor and they say, okay, here's your diagnosis. But for you, the regular treatment doesn't seem to be working, or you try that for a while, and then you go to the alternative people, and you get a little bit of relief there. But for some of the stronger oriented souls that are here to go first, it takes more power to break through. Like if you want to go in the woods and break trail, that takes a lot of energy to go through. The people behind you, they just walk through because you already made the trail. So that energy, usually you'll see it in the solar plexus for the person. And I'll get down to your question in the chat in a minute. Please leave your questions in the chat, live chat. I'll see those as we go. If you want a reading on something, give you a little quick mini read. But for somebody oriented towards, I'm interested in global awareness of the ecosystem, or I'm interested in feeding the homeless in the Amazon, or, people will be more interested in these kind of global situations. Sometimes they can have peculiar health issues. The point I wanted to make is with the solar plexus is that power that they have to break the trail in the woods, that to bring in a new paradigm. Sometimes that power can be used to the negative too. If it's like, oh, I have this problem that's sitting here, and you're a really powerful person, and you look at that problem, and the power gets a little bigger. That problem gets a little bigger, and you put your power into the problem, and it gets a little bigger. So we do have to be careful where we're pointing our power these days. One more thing about this is that not everybody's breakthrough moment is going to look like that, with some tears or a big aha moment. It may come in inspiration when you're driving down the road, or you're opening up your social media to look at. I like to watch these jokes every day, but the joke hits home and you go, oh, that's the answer I was looking for. It could come in really subtle. Conversation with someone doesn't have to look the same as anybody else. Let me take a look over here in the live chat. Hi, Linda. Anyone else seeing weird pink and green lights on the video? No, I think that's, there's a pink light which is below my crystals, but I'm all plugged in here. I got a good system going, so we should be good. Okay, so what's really happening and what do we do about it, right? So what I'm noticing a lot of right now is old patterns surfacing for review. Does that mean, like, for the woman that's going through, okay, I have this old pattern that's coming up, and I always thought I was just wishy-washy and I couldn't make a decision. Is that who I am? So we have these old patterns that come up and you go, oh, is that true? Maybe it's been there for so long, we tend to think that must be me because it's been there so long, and I've worked on therapy for 10 years, and I went to the workshops, and I took the retreat, and I did the other things to get rid of it, to get rid of it, to get rid of it. So some of these old things are coming up for review for you to finally let go of. Like, all the ingredients are here right now. For those of you, you've already been doing your work, you found this channel, you're interested in spiritual growth and development. This is part of it, is when these old items come up for review. But it's coming up for review so you can let go and really free yourself. It's not who you are. It's like having someone says, okay, I have a diagnosis code. I've got this some kind of health issue, or a psychotherapy diagnosis. And then we learn, okay, well, I have to live between these lines. For some, yes, that might keep them very supported. And then there's always somebody like Anita Morjani, who was, stage 4 cancer, literally died and came back with a tremendous offering to herself and to the world, that there was a limiting belief she had about herself. I think it was something like a life of always trying to please other people. And then she realized, I'm giving out on trying to please people, and it never worked anyway. She died and came back, and she was more herself. She wrote these books, and she's doing all her traveling and speaking everywhere. Let's see what we got in here. Graceful Goddess. Yes, the screen is wonky. My screen's wonky? It looks fine on this end. Sorry about that. It's all plugged in. Let's ground it. This is the new Earth. Maybe the new Earth has a wonky screen. Okay, so we're talking about these big changes. What do we do? What's going on? The example of the people in the room with tears was they were starting to realize, oh, I thought that was me, but I'm so much more. That's what's available right now. As these old patterns coming up right now, it's not a regression. It's that you're ready to take the next step. And that might mean, oh, take a look at that. I'm in fear again. I've been in fear before. Here it is. Does this mean I'll never be able to move through this fear? No, this time period is really great for letting go. I was starting to talk about an example earlier used to use of a hot air balloon. If we're wanting to take off and have a nice flight on the hot air balloon, if you have too many sandbags, you can't get up there, right? So some of these things coming up for review are old sandbags we have to let go of. One that comes up really strongly for sensitive people, intuitive people, empaths. Empaths you think of kind of classically as somebody who's feeling other people's emotions too. I want to keep saying this on here. You're not absorbing the person's energy. You don't sit down in a room with somebody that's angry and go, I would like to have your anger. No, we don't do that. But there is a function that goes on the energy management level of the body that matches that energy, like a string vibrating a frequency. Then that person leaves, that string is still vibrating here in your space. Later in the day, you go, oh, I'm angry. I'm angry about, I don't know, the news. Okay. Yeah, there's probably people upset about the news right now because it's shifting and changing. All the things we used to rely on, they're shifting and changing. Just like when I woke up and I grounded myself and it said, welcome to the new earth. And I was feeling kind of dizzy today. I'm like, oh, things are shifting and changing. We may see stuff on the news that's disconcerting. For the empath there that's feeling somebody else's energy, this is a perfect time to realize that's your clairsentience. It's a function of the second chakra. It's where you feel energy. And this is a time to learn how to manage that. So it's about discernment. So the abilities are there. It's not a problem. This is kind of reframing that. It's not a problem. It's a superpower. One of many. This is exactly the time in history to be working on these. And as the old stuff comes up for review, think about, oh, I found it. This is how I'm going to free myself. One of the examples I was giving earlier of a man who's carrying like a lot of weight of other people's, like if somebody is wanting to work on a national level with certain groups or like hunger in the Amazon or something, that if they don't know how to manage their energy yet, then you get into a meditation for a minute and you might discover, oh my God, I've been carrying the weight of the people in the Amazon whom I'm here to support, but I've been carrying it in my physical body. My chest hurts, my shoulders hurt, and my hip feels like it's going to fall off. Yeah, we have to learn not to carry those things in the physical body when it's our job to support others. This is all energy management and all this kind of stuff that's coming up right now. We're going to get into some what do we do about it in a minute. I just want to remind you, please, if you find this helpful, make sure and subscribe, hit the notifications, all the stuff. There's classes coming up. I have my online school is ready. There's an online Zoom in March, and then an in-person retreat in March, and an in-person retreat in Labor Day, early September. Love to see you there. Okay, let's move on to why it's happening right now. The astrologers can tell you all about that's happening. There's patterns that haven't been here for thousands of years. And the last time these patterns were here, there was big shifts, including big earth shifts. Realize those big shifts are going on internally in us too. It's a birthing, it's like a rebirth, birthing of not so much a new you, but the authentic you that's been in there the whole time, but maybe covered up. In this morning's meditation with the 2-week challenge, which is free, you can join, just click over here or over here somewhere. We were talking this morning in the morning meditation. Oh gosh, I just got 14 different thoughts and I lost my thoughts probably about this time period and how much it's shifting and changing. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be, some big earthquakes or volcanic activity, because what we see on the outside, it's going on inside. This stuff's just really burping up. It's bubbling up. for us to take a look and go, who am I really? Oh, we were talking this morning about it's like peeling the layers off of what we thought we were. Okay, I think I'm supposed to be the good little girl, and you take a picture that says be a good little girl, and you walk with this throughout your life. And somebody else says, oh, you need to be strong. Okay, and I walk around with this picture over here, you need to be strong. Somebody else says you need to go along with others, whatever. And we get all these pictures all over us, and then we have a hard time going, well, wait a minute, who am I? Because I need to please this person if that assigned this picture, or I agreed to take it on, or this person that gave me this picture that I agreed to take on. And we grow up and we got like 50, 100 of these pictures. So it's not so much a time period about discovering something new as to peeling off the layers and going, this is who I've been all along, right here. Ready or not, here I come. This is perfect time. So let's talk about how do we get there? What do we do? Let me just check the live chat. Same issues coming up. How do I know they are leaving now and not coming up and continuing to be there and go on just like they have been for a long time? Yeah, Linda, the difference is going to be also getting into action. So the ingredients are all here in this time period for us to be able to work through these old patterns. We do need to take a step towards that. We can't be in the back seat at this time period and wait for something else. But it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much to change. We've been meditating in the morning, just these little 15-minute segments, and people are saying, oh gosh, I feel so much better. Or somebody comes in for an energy check and, oh my God, I feel like myself again. It just takes a moment. So talking about old patterns here with Linda. And so an old pattern comes up and you look at that pattern and you go, oh gosh, somebody else is stronger than me. Somebody else holds the keys to the city. The boss does, or somebody else. Once you notice that pattern, see if you can't do like the tools we do. Go to the center of the head. If you're out in front of your head, you're going to be in the problem energy. See if this is where the problem energy sits. Then you'll be experiencing it and feeling the fear that brings, for example. Come back to the center of the head. This just can take 2 minutes. Be in the center of the head, ground yourself and go, that's an old pattern. I'm ready to let it go. Imagine just like you get some junk mail in the mail and you can take that and go, well, this is trash. This does not apply to me. I'm going to throw that away. Drop it down your grounding cord. Let it go all the way down to the center of the earth, like a big trash incinerator, but energy gets transmuted there. So add an action step in right now would be great, Linda. But consider that all the forces are helping us. If you were to zoom out also and look around the world energetically, we have so much help. It's ridiculous. There's so much help, so much support here. For the angelic types, your spirit guides and all of those, they can't intervene unless, there's an emergency. But in the day-to-day stuff, they have to wait until you invite them. So don't forget, everybody here has your primary guide that knows everything about you throughout all your incarnations. You can call on them first, or Supreme Being. There's a lot of help, a lot of support right now. So these are not new. They're coming up to show you, hey, this is a pattern you've been looking at for a while, but you're wanting to go over there. You'll have to let go of this pattern to be able to get to that place. So find some steps to let go of the pattern, having some kind of action. So what can we do? That was a couple of things from that example. That was a really good one. Thank you, Linda. What else will we do? I would say step one, when the old pattern comes up, is consider reframing it from, here's this same old thing. It's never going to get any better. See, I see it again. So that means it's still here. I can't go do that thing I want to do. I can't go create that stuff I want to do. That's not correct. This is old limits. Remember, it's old and it's coming up to highlight for you right now what you need to address to be able to reach that new space. So instead of, this thing's still here, let's shift it to, I found it. It's right there. I know where that pattern is. I'm deciding to let it go today. You're bigger than that pattern. What's a step 2 here? Ground before the poop hits the fan. So what do you mean by that? Ground your body every day. A grounding cord from the base of the spine to the center of the earth. Widen it out wider than your hips and decide to let go of anybody else's energy. For empaths, for highly sensitive people, for someone with apraxia, that's not fully connected in the body, this would be paramount to ground your body to the center of the earth and help you, the being, the soul, be more in the driver's seat and not floating up somewhere. You got a body, you won the lottery ticket to be here in this amazing time period that we're in. So celebrate. Let's just learn some tools here to navigate through it. So step 2, ground before the poop hits the fan. When things feel disorienting, this practice will help you stay really grounded, centered, and present. Step 3, what can we do? Put your energy into what you do want to create. This is a tremendous time for creation. So like if you got this old pattern that's coming up, this came up, Grace that's in here this morning, and she meditated with us today, and she shared some artwork on these cards that she was doing and said how much better that felt after doing just a little bit of art. The March Zoom retreat, we're going to do quite a bit of that. It's called Awaken and Create. And we'll talk more about art is more than just a pastime to do if you have free time on a Sunday afternoon. You're bringing spirit into matter. It's very important. And this time period is excellent for creating. So if there's an old limit that says I can't create until that thing happens, that's probably coming up first. And you go, oh, wait, I'm bigger than that. I have power over that. That doesn't have power over me. I'm going to release it down the grounding cord. I'm going to start creating. Even if you just write down, here's what I want to start creating. Making a decision to move in that direction. For Grace this morning was, I just got some pretty sparkly paint and I started painting, and you felt better because you're being yourself. So final word about this is to be aware that there may be some growing pains when you grow really quickly. Just like a teenager, their body can grow a foot a year. They might break bones more easily. They might be a little clumsy for a while just because they're expanding so quickly. If you're having growing pains on your spiritual path right now, don't feel discouraged. Might feel awkward. Stay the path. Stay grounded. The earth is expanding now too. You're expanding on the inside. Give yourself some integration time. A walk in nature is really good without your gadgets, especially. So back to the last thing, back to the beginning when I was at the temple and people were moved into tears at this time, it's because all the ingredients, the alignments, everything is right here. Don't wait another day to even just be willing to let go of some of the old limitations, but take action and move into that creation. What are some things you've always wanted to be doing? Everything is here for you right now. So I've created a community here as well. The Inner Awakening Community is my online school that's available. There's a link over there. Join the Mystic Path, and we have live class every month and a tremendous amount of tools on the back end in the school and for communication to each other, ask questions. You can still join me for the 2-week challenge that's going on now through February 28th. Just put in your email so I can send you the Zoom link, and we meet every morning 9 to 9:15. There's a March retreat on Zoom, Awaken and Create, and then an in-person retreat that I'm super excited. Limited amount of seats for that one, or limited amount of beds. It's going to be a lot of fun. First weekend in September, hold the date. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have topics you'd like to hear about, let me know. I'm otherwise just kind of tuning in to where things are and covering some different topics for you. So thanks so much for joining. Make sure that you hit the subscribe bell, all this stuff, and you're on the mailing list for upcoming events. And I'll see you next week, same time.